Meeting will come to order at 2:05. And first thing is,
This one's Bob, so we can do him first.
let's do 61 now, Bob.
Yep.
Oh, yeah,
I just left a message saying
Oh.
well, I said town hall, it's in law. Maybe he's thinking about
Great. For the record, my name is Bob
Bless you.
Graff from ELS. This is a septic system repair at 61 Boston Road. There's the road right here. They have a gravel drive that goes in like this. They have an on-site well located right here, and it's the 100-foot radius around the well that you can't have a septic. But you can do a tank within 50 feet, so the tanks, the proposed tank is 87. We have wetlands on the site that were delineated by Norris Environmental, shown in blue right here, and on this side, like that. We also have some marsh area out here. There's a floodplain elevation of 13, which is shown in the purple line here, and on this side. It actually comes out like this, like a neck like that, and the wetlands go like that, and the floodplain comes around on each side. They have a 2-bedroom dwelling and a barn for storage right here. That's elevated up on pilings, and like concrete piles.
How high?
But this one, probably like
so they're right
a foot and a half in the front, like
Okay, so
3
it's
feet in
not
the
like
back.
4 or 5 feet.
No, it just doesn't have a basement or a crawl space, it's just up in the air. The existing septic tank right here is in orange, right here, and they have 1 leach pit. So we're gonna replace, cut the pipe off, put a new 1,500 gallon, actually it was a, 1,500 gallon septic tank to a D-box, and we did 2 deep holes here. And we're gonna replace that, the old system with a new Prezi system, 12.5 feet wide, about 32 feet long. We're gonna put a poly line in here to limit the amount of grading because it just drops off and it levels up to the wetlands right here. During the construction, we're gonna put up wattle, silt, actually, what is it, it's a silt sock, maybe not silt sock, straw wattle. It's a 10-inch wattle, just for any erosion during construction.
You've seen them on the side of the road.
Yeah. They'll have to come in through here and take these steps off to get a mini machine in here to build this, because it's so limited. You really can't come around the house because it drops off like that. And then this drops off like that. So the only way you're getting in is taking off these steps. We filed with the Conservation Commission because we're working in here's the 50-foot wetland setback from the 50-foot on this side, and the 100-foot buffers down here, so there's no room to put the system except where it's going. Outside the 100-foot wetland, I mean the well buffer. We're scheduled for June 20th. We filed a notice of intent with DEP and Newry Conservation Commission. So that's our public hearing coming up soon. And it'll be slightly, it'll be in grade here and slightly elevated here, and then just dropping off grade areas. And then 2 waivers were asking for a reduction from 4 feet to 2 feet, which is allowable under using the Prezi system, and percolation tests because it was saturated and very dense. So we couldn't really perk it. So we sent the soils out, and it came back as a, let's see, it came back out as a sand load and a load. Class 2 soil, which is class 1 is sand, class 4 is clay, so it's like in the middle.
The heck would you have done if it was clay?
Just make a larger system and be closer to the wetlands. And we're actually meeting Title V right now, and the 50 feet and we're outside the 100-foot well buffer.
Do you have any problems with it?
No, this will require a deed restriction too for a two-bedroom, but besides that, no.
And I have that note on here
Yeah.
also.
Sure.
Supposed to-
What do you think?
Motion to approve?
Make the motion, I second it, all in favor? Aye.
Perfect. Thank you.
It's one permit, now we gotta go through conservation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Without going on the written, well, it is on the record. So our approval is contingent on.
Conservation, yeah, we can't build this, I mean, they did stop us from building it without having that.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you.
find a date the week after next.
Yeah.
I'll buy lunch.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, so, this here, this is 293 on High Road. The designer is out of the country and asked, rather than hold up a homeowner where it's a basic system, and because of the way it is, had asked if we could present it. And I didn't see any issues with this plan. This is a plan written by drawn by Dan Ottenheimer from Mill River. And basically, let me see, this is a repair to an existing dwelling. Actually, is this the one? Yeah, so this here was where the canoe, remember the old canoe building there on the corner? It's right over the bridge on all the way down on High Road.
Canoe kayak, yeah.
Yeah, it's down by Newbury Neck Road, the canoe kayak place.
Oh,
It's almost across from the boat ramp almost.
used to be Fernald.
Okay, yeah, so that one there.
Now I forget what the name of it is, Parker River Canoe or something.
Yeah, something like that.
So there's an existing retail building here, and what they're going to do is we found some good material in here. They're going to replace the system here with a alternative type of system because of the type of material it was. It's going to be a full alternative. Where's his variances?
Is this the canoe?
Where is that?
This, there's two actually. So this one, remember how when you drive in, yes, this is the canoe building here. And then this is I don't know what building, it's another wooden
Where's
frame
Route
building.
1?
Route 1 is over here,
Oh, this side.
yes. Yep.
Doesn't look right.
Yeah, I know, it's the way or actually, yeah, it's just the way the road is. It comes up, it's on a corner, you know what I'm saying? It goes up through Newbury Neck. So here's your Parker River, is over here. So they meet their setbacks from that. So what they're asking for is, the variance that they're asking is, we can only get one test pit in because of the disturbance and because of all the other utilities and everything in the ground. So they only could do one test pit. So we would do a second test pit during construction of installation, which we've done in the past. So when they tear this out, we would actually put one in then. The other thing that they requested was we couldn't get a percolation test due to the soils being so wet, but they sent them out for soil analysis, which again is approved, allowed by a local upgrade approval from the state variance. And then the third variance, they're asking to reduce the septic from their private water supply. And as you can see, here's the 100-foot water supply here. So they meet, they're 85 feet away, 15 feet of it would be in this system. But again, the type of system they are doing is a full alternative pre-treatment system, so everything's pre-treated prior to going in. And that's the best they could do, because prior to this, they had a tight tank over here. And because they found this good material, they're able to actually put a system in, which is a great benefit for this property.
Is that right at the Y?
Yes. Kind of
Be a clam shack?
on the left, I don't know what, I know it's been canoe for as long as I've been there, 20 years or whatever. But yeah, it's, I wish there was a better picture of it, maybe here for you. So here's High Road, Land's End is where it is. And see how the Y is here?
Yeah.
This is Newburyneck and High, so it's like right there, there's 1A.
All right, so it's not the building
Oh, that
that's
you're
in the
looking.
Y.
Oh, no, I know, now I know what you're talking about. Okay, no, it's actually on the water here. And there's like 2 outbuildings here. So it's actually gonna be a big improvement for this property to be able to have this on. And that's it. Newbury Kayak and Canoe is the name of the place, so. But it was real restricted, they did soils on throughout the property in different spots, and this is the best adequate place for them to do, so I really didn't see any issues with this.
And the one perk came out all right?
Yes.
Well, the sieve
The
analysis.
sieve analysis came out, okay, yeah. We only need 1 perk anyway, so the perk is fine, it was sent up for soils, sent up for analysis. You normally have 2 deeps, but in accordance with Title V, we can ask for that variance, we can also do another deep during construction of it.
Okay.
So I'll make a motion. I'll make a motion.
I'll second it. In favor?
Thank you. Now, the next plan, which is 118 Elm Street, Dan Johnson, the designer, is supposed to be here, but I'm not sure if he thinks Town Hall, he hasn't been in a long time, is on High Road and he's just running really late, or what happened here, but again, I can show it to you. This one here is 118 Elm Street. This is by Dan Johnson. And he's requesting 2 variances. This is an existing dwelling. As you can see, it's a 4-bedroom home. It's a pretty cut and dry one also. You can see all the soil testing we did around, which if you see these square blocks, that's like test pit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all these test pits. We couldn't get adequate soils or groundwater. I mean, we'd hit bedrock or different reasons of being why we had to move. So we did find 2 that were adequate, had the adequate soils behind. And his 2 variances he's requesting are, one is the 4 feet to 3 feet to get the system a little bit further in the ground, because it's going to be, as you can see on the profile picture, it's quite raised out of the ground, the mound is quite high. And by adding the 1 foot reduction, which is allowable by Title V, we'll bring it down a little bit further, so they won't have a huge pitcher's mound. I mean, it's still going to be quite high from the existing to the proposed. So that's the first variance. And the second variance they're requesting is, again, the reason we did all these different soils is because we'd hit bedrock. We didn't have 4 feet of natural occurring material, which the state requires. We had 33 inches in one spot and 46 inches in another. It is allowable under the state to go up to 2 feet of soil as long as we use an alternative type of system, which he has proposed a Presby system, which is a pre-treatment to hit to the groundwater, so it is allowable in accordance with Title V. So those are his 2 variances he's requesting, and again, it's another property that's pretty cut and dry because it's an existing dwelling, very restricted piece of property, and he did the best he could in them circumstances to only request these 2 variances and make it work. So
Is he on a well,
he is on water.
town water?
Yep.
Okay.
So there's no well setback, there's no wetlands, there's no other setbacks requested.
I'll make a motion to.
Second it. All in favor?
Guys. So those were pretty basic. Those were nice and easy, simple ones. And then want me to do the recycling dividends program? Okay, so I have a copy of this too.
How about get this?
So I had applied for a recycling dividends program. It's a kind of like a mini grant. And the town of Newbury was awarded $2,940 for any kind of recycling. It's called Beyond the Bin, and the town got points, we got reward points for any type of recycling we have done throughout our community. And once I had filled out, and Ginger and I went around and did our homework on what type of recycling we have here, which is anywhere from textile bins at the library or the transfer station to what's being recycled at the schools. And so they take our questionnaire, fill it all out, and they came up with that we received $2,940. Now, the approved spending categories is a list, and I think you have a copy sheet. Yeah. So there's many different things we could use for this recycling coordinator. Anything from backyard compost bins to kitchen scrap buckets to equipment to recycling bins, things like that. But what I was going to propose to the board, which I personally thought would maybe be the best interest at this time, would be is under the spending under the model programming. And if we were to do a one-year contract with for a new recycling coordinator. Now back 21 years ago when I started, we had a recycling coordinator and he was amazing and he got a lot for the town. Yeah, he got some health issues and we never replaced him. And so if we were to get a recycling coordinator for a year at this point, it would definitely pay for itself probably, because we could take some of that money, pay for this person, and then they can even we can keep reapplying for the same mini grant and every year get more funds. And we can get that money lifted way up higher by adding like resources and outreach programs on our website page, or there's so many different points that recycling coordinator could work on, and then they can keep reapplying for this, and it would pay for them to continue and or other things that we might be able to offer to the residents, like whatever they think is in the best interest for the residents of what they could use and need for more recycling and get really good recycling in this program, including, as you can see, there's all kinds of outreaching and schools promoting things. We can use the funding for many different resources. So I thought if the board was okay with moving forward with using this for a recycling coordinator position for a year coordinator, I could draft a job description and a contract, show it to the board for next meeting, and if you approve it, then we can, post it somewhere that if somebody's interested in doing recycling for our town, I think it's a great program and benefit for the town. So just wanted to throw that out there, unless there's something else the board really would like to see that money be used for.
How many hours a week do you think that will have?
That's a great question. So we'd have to take the money, is that what you're doing now? I figured that, okay. Yeah, so we'd take the money, divide, so our public health nurse is a contract. And so we take her money divided by, and we give her a stipend every month. And we say it's up to whatever it was. I think it's up to 2.5 hours per week. So same thing we could put is, here's your job description, 5 hours a month, 10, whatever, to make it somewhat worth whatever, you know what I mean? Yeah. So, and we'd just make sure that the logistics of it, this would be a contract. We could possibly even use, Mass DEP just sent me today a list of other recycling coordinators throughout the North Shore here. So maybe somebody that actually, unless there is somebody here in Newbury too, we can check. But if somebody wants to jump that's already been doing all that, it may just be a few, full few hours, again, unless we have some residents here in town that would want to know their recycling. But I just think that would be something that's, versus us just spending it on some kind of equipment or a small thing and be done with the money, versus keep it going, Yeah.
If we paid them $18 an hour, it's 163 hours a year.
Yeah.
A little over 10 hours a month. Rough math.
Yeah. You may even wanna go,
14 hours a
and if
month.
you, I'm just throwing it out there, but if you want a little bit higher on that, because they're gonna have to pay, everything, the taxes, like, there's no benefits or anything on it, and you're hiring a subcontractor type of person,
It's a
so,
stipend.
yeah. So,
$20 would be 147
yep,
hours per year.
and that would be good,
Is it something that they could make, just like at the annual or just any of the town meetings, just to make sure the community knows there's a position available to?
So we would definitely put it like in the paper and advertise it and
Right, but
things
not
like
just
that.
posting, but like once they exist, I just wanna make sure that like,
So it's not like it wouldn't at this time stay as a it's not a town employee or a town position. It's just it's a contractor for a year to get this, you know what I mean, so.
Sure, so maybe I'm not asking my question correctly, so I guess I meant like, how would the community know that we had this coordinator? Like if someone wanted to maybe get involved or learn about programs, like is there a way to like market and advertise?
I think we
Some of
should,
the things.
yeah, so I
Okay.
agree with
Because
that.
sometimes I don't know that, like, we have all these great programs and
Yeah,
like, and
yeah.
I feel like I'm involved, but
Okay,
when
so-
I miss something, it's like, oh, I wish I knew that, so I just didn't know if this coordinator would help get the word out
I think
to
that's a
market
great
and
thing, and I
advertise
agree.
different.
So we could have them even work with Matt, our IT guy, to put it out on all of our social media pages, our website, all that, and yes, and that's, and then we have extra funding in here in case there's some kind of mailing they wanna do,
Sure,
and
okay.
really get it out there, because I think there's a lot more than just recycling paper, plastic, or they'll decide what programs would be probably in the best interest, and the more things we do, the more points, and it's funny how things that you wouldn't think of, that DEP gives us more money for more points on things, so. I agree, and you'd be surprised the people that may come forward that wanna
Right.
help do this with the community.
Right, and the more points they get,
The
the
more
more
money
likely that they're gonna
Right.
end up having another year of being a recycled
$12
one.
a month, at $20.
Okay, that's perfect, I mean, if that's,
Yeah, because even like with Black Earth composting, like I know, like I love to use them, but they're not in our area. But if we had this coordinator who could get more community members, that would attract them here.
yes, cause
And
I
then
just.
if we can show there's points that we're utilizing these things.
Yes,
that will
and I
help
just
us.
learned about that, I wasn't that familiar, and somebody had called on that, and they said Ipswich had a program, so I called Ipswich said they didn't have one. So if I knew of another company, another town that did it, but absolutely something like that would be really good. So there's so much more out there that I know people would wanna do.
I don't know. Do you want to vote?
Is she the youngest?
She is.
She's being really good.
She
She's
is.
being really good. So that's basically what I have. Like I said, June 14th, it was due again, the quarterly one, so I did it all. But again, we are helping, like they said, if we had this special link on our website, so we threw that on to get the points. So we're running around throwing it, but if somebody actually had the time to really get it, we could really make our program so much stronger, get more money for the community, offer more things, have different, I mean, to the point that, I'm not positive if it could help compensate our hazardous waste day eventually, or if that's something, maybe, like I said, there's so many more things that this money can be used for, so.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think compost would go really well.
I
in
did,
the
yeah.
area.
Mhm.
And again, even the.
And we had did that at one time, we had gave out compost bins when we had Ron Toll.
Yeah, 20 years ago, we got a grant and we did the backyard compost bins. They went good at the beginning, and then it really didn't go well. Then we looked at the kitchen scrap buckets, which maybe they'd come a long ways, but they smelled really gross. Nobody want, they weren't great. I don't know if they'd come better, but so there's many different things. And like I said, somebody that's more an expertise on recycling might really tell us, hey, we should be doing this or that, and really, it might be a good thing, and
Or for someone you could collaborate with, I don't know if there's any like colleges or universities who have like a degree. Maybe there would be like an externship co-op kind of thing that maybe a student would be involved and might take a lower salary. More hours, or just maybe they want the field experience. Again, I have no idea if there's like a major that exists like that, but I don't know why that
Right.
would be nice to attract someone for.
Like
Or if a
public health.
faculty member took on the lead, they could have some students kind of brainstorm, and this might be a valuable educational experience for them and also enhance the town to help some things out.
I like that idea. And like I said, I've got those emails now, contact emails to that we just received this morning. We can shoot out to them too and say, hey, what are their recommended things? But, yeah, it was, like I said, I think it's a great little program for the town, so.
Even like reuse stuff.
I mean, yeah, and I feel too, because so far, the demand right now for us, at least, not a demand, but we don't really have any demands on recycling, except we are getting a few people that will call every so often and need us. So something like that, need us, or you'll get calls once in a while on the fluorescent bulbs, or, you know, something like that. So we can also keep an eye on what is needed more. Hi. She's like bored to death.
It looks like she needs a nap.
We'll be honest that.
And I know the school's also doing a lot with food waste that the kids do not want, because again, kids have to take so many servings, but if they don't want it, and they're starting food pantries in the school as well, so there's lots of like recycling and
awesome.
collaboration
That is
that I think
great.
would continue to get us bonus points.
It definitely give us bonus points, and it was actually one of our questions, and we didn't know the answer to one of those. So things like that, that will definitely give us a lot of.
Okay.
That's another thing of what we'll do is, like I said, once the coordinator can get this paperwork and see, and then whatever we don't say yes to on this, that's what he or she could probably work on and be like, okay, well, we can easily get these points by doing this or doing that, you know, so. So yeah, if that's a thought, then next month I would put on the agenda with a full description and everything to start promoting that contract record.
Well, almost the last one. Need a motion to reappoint Deborah and Ginger to their positions for a term of 5 years.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, you can be done with Barbie. I'll be right there.
We'll be quick.
She's good, she did good. And that's all we really have, so it wasn't too bad.
And just the minutes.
Minutes.
The minutes look correct to me. I didn't change the spelling.
This was handwritten notes for me. Nothing's glaring to me in terms of the minutes. Nothing's glaring to me in terms of the minutes.
Entertain a motion to approve.
1 second.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you.